All right. Let's see the levels to mark out. We got this got this 15-minute, got the pre-market lows down there. And then we got these highs up here. That's not pre-market, is it? It is pre-market highs. Pre-market highs up there. All right. We're good on the 15-minute for now. Drop down to the 1 minute. Oh, let's see what happens here. Starting to kind of push out of it. All right, news-wise, we don't have any news today, do we? News, Finviz. Crap. We do have news, but not any major news. Business inventory is not going to be too crazy, but still got to be mindful of it, though. 10 o'clock. Some minor 10 o'clock news. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Oh, yeah. Dang. Is it market? Oh, 2 minutes till market open. T minus 2 minutes. Let's see what happens today. Got a couple of levels marked out. See what happens. I like this pre-market low level. If we can take out pre-market lows. Gonna try out your strategy today along with RSI divergence. Let me know how it works. Now this thing is, I do have this level here. Not really liking it though. Just cause we got view up right there, so I don't know if I should take it or not. I mean, it's like it's not even working now, but I do have this level marked out. It's kind of a holy dump Baruski. Dang, man. Holy, what a dump. Wow. No chill. Dang. Going through the dang. I wonder how many people got stopped out on that. Crap, I hope it doesn't do this crap where it makes a huge gap, but alright, there's pre-market lows. Wait. Nope. I have something wrong. Wait. Because my other chart, it's not sweeping it. I marked out with something wrong again. $23,870. $23,870. What the heck? I guess just because it's a different... Oh, wait. We're good. Yeah, swept pre-market lows. I have a line drawn on my other chart. Doesn't make sense. Wow. All right, we're still going. If we can't do anything at pre-market lows, we have another level down there. The next level is... Next level is... Oh, shit. Oh, I like that. I like that. Oh yeah. We have another level right here. This, was it yesterday's? I think, yeah, this was yesterday's candle, or... Yeah. So this, like... 793 level. Pretty interesting. And it's paired with, what's it called? A pivot point. Let's see what happens here. I need to focus on the 1 minute. Starting to get a push out of it, but there's no freaking... There's a gap here, but I'm not taking that long, man. We're taking a long right at the highs. I don't like that. Right. There's a gap right there, but, I mean, if I take a long up here, I'm taking a long literally at the highs, so... Obviously, I'm not going to do that unless some better price action starts to kind of form. Give me something else, but as of right now, nothing. There's that pre-market lows. It's taken out trying to reverse up our pre-market lows. So obviously we're getting buyers stepping in, but sellers look pretty aggressive still. See that next level, like I said, that next level is down there at 790, like 792 level. And it's paired with this pivot point down here. So pretty interesting level if we can get down there. Starting to reverse, right? We broke through. Remember, old support becomes new resistance, right? This was a major support level. See, it kept bouncing off this level here. A lot of bounces off here. And then once we got a heavy sell-off, right? Then now it's pushing back up to kind of hold it as resistance. So now you see all these wicks holding it as resistance to potentially keep going down. See what happens though. We look like we still want to keep going down, which it's fine with me. I want it to go all the way down there. I like that level, honestly. I like that level better than pre-market, the one that I have marked way down there. So we can't really break up back above. We're holding below that major level. Every time buyers kind of push it back up, sellers just take over immediately. So we got a lot more selling pressure, is a lot heavier than the buying pressure. If we can break this low, 850 low, if we break it, we're going lower. So no setup here. You have a line right at the resistance level. They bounced off that pretty much all day. Yeah, it's been what? This is pretty much what is this? Pretty much all pre-market since, well, this is 8:30. Let me see the 15-minute chart. Yeah. This has been a major support level pretty much all morning long, all night long, ever since market opened at 6 o'clock. Yesterday at 6 o'clock, ever since market opened, we've been bouncing off. We got a bounce pretty much off this level right away at 6 o'clock, kind of pushed up, came back down to that level without taking it out, and just, actually we did take it out a little bit, but it bounced there again. So now holding it as pretty strong resistance, which makes sense, right? I mean, you got a lot of... Look at the wicks. Look at the wicks on that. Wild. Not really at much gaps, right? We do have a gap up here, but not really trying to long off that gap. Trying to come into this, you know, like a liquidity point. It just doesn't make sense. Too much risk on the table for very little reward. What are you feeling, shorts? No, I really like this bottom. I like this level down here. I really hope it gets down to this. This was a yesterday's level after yesterday's massive sell-off. If we can get down there, I would love that. Paired with the pivot point, big wick. So if we can kind of take this level out to start potentially reversing, it gives me buying pressure step in. So far, I mean, we're still holding above this pre-market high level. It's NQ futures still. NASDAQ. How can I put my phone so I can... There it is. That's better. I'm trading micros. So the reason I like to trade micros, right? I can adjust my size, right? With minis, the problem with minis is, right, one mini, 10 points on one mini is $200. So unless you're taking sizes that are thousands of dollars, I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to, because I like to adjust my stop based off of how much risk I'm taking. You know, I don't want to go heavy in a size just because I want to trade one mini. So with micros, I can allow myself to really adjust my size. So for example, if this pushes up, right, these boxes I have, every 10 points, I can quickly count the boxes. However much risk I want, I multiply it. Because I know every box is 20 points. Every 10 points is $20 for one micro. So I just quickly do the math. So 20, if I was to get in like in the middle of here, it'd be 20, 40. Right, so I'll just 40 multiplied by however times how much risk I want to take. Right, but with my minis, one mini is $200 for every 10 points, so it's just too much risk on the table. I can't adjust my risk. I have to go in heavy pretty much every time, which doesn't make sense to do. I know a lot of people don't like micros. They think it's like, but I think micros are good because, you know, you can really scale. We're still dropping. We're still dropping. Holding this as resistance. I mean, we could be going down to that level, which is nice. Hopefully, I can get a. Got my copy trader working. Let's see what we get. Let's see a break. This 850 level. There it is. There's the break. Getting some pretty decent price action so far. Minis are good for evals, but not fundeds. Yeah, I typically, even with micros, when I'm trying to pass evals, and if I was to go heavy in size, like for me, heavy with evals is like risking $500 a trade, right? Because I don't want to blow my accounts in one day, my evals in one day. So I allow a little bit more rooms, you know, $500. So that's what? Like 6 winning trades. I have to get 6 winning trades to pass the account. Some people that's not, you know, heavy, but for me, I think that's plenty. I've went in heavier than that, but it's a little risky, you know, especially if you're doing one eval, it's fine, but you know, when you end up doing, you know, 5, 10 evals, you don't really want to spend $500 and blow 5 evals in 10 evals in one day. So you got to have a good middle point to allow yourself for some drawdown, but not, you know, 500 is good. Yeah. I like that. That's like a sweet spot. 500, and then once I get funded, I'll you know, I typically size down a little bit from there. You don't, because the thing about with funded accounts, right? Especially if you copy trade them, you don't need to be heavily sized, right? Like people think that you need to size up, but it's the more funded accounts you have, you could stay same size, very lightly sized, but just get more accounts. So if you end up getting, you know, 10 accounts, $100, it's $1,000 trade technically. All right, we're breaking through pretty heavy. Let's see us go down to that low. Come on, baby. Give me something today. See, now it's kind of pushing up, maybe holding this as resistance. This is the 1 minute time frame, but I have my levels marked out on the 15-minute time frame. So if you go to the 15-minute, right? See these blue lines I have marked out? These are all like major levels I have marked out. So this was a pre-market low level. So right, it couldn't really, buyers didn't step in aggressive enough to hold the pre-market lows. So now this next level is down here, right? You see this level, a lot of buying pressure stepped in at this level. So that's why I'm looking for a price to come down, take that low out, and then a lot of buying pressure start to step in like it did it right here. That's what I'm looking for. So that's why I'm waiting for price to kind of get down there. We have a pivot point down there too. So I like to see that pair up with my level. See what happens though. When you get close to a payout, does it close the account? No, you just know. It doesn't close it. I mean, once you hit your profit target, you'll get an email that you passed the accounts. But then, right, you have an evaluation. So you get out of the evaluation account and then you go to funded accounts. You activate the funded accounts and then you're pretty much trading in funded accounts. So they're different accounts. Yeah, it pretty much resets. They're like named differently. They're named like for Apex, it's called PA accounts. So when you have PA accounts, those are funded accounts. All right, kind of tapping into that gap. See if we can get a rejection off that gap, maybe. Oh, you're saying when you get a payout? No, my bad. When you get a payout, no, it doesn't close the account. The only way you close your account is if you fail the account. If you go into too much drawdown and you blow the account. But as long as you follow the rules, the account's gonna be open and you can get, payouts. Oh man, come on, price. So the hardest part about trading is waiting for for price to come to the area that you want it to. And not only waiting for price to come to your area, but then waiting for that setup. Waiting for price to confirm what you want it to do. So it's like, the hardest part about trading is the patience. And you can see how price is just retracing, right? It comes back up, retraces to kind of rebalance, right? Takes out, breaks down below this low, kind of taps back into this resistance level up here. Now it broke through this support. Old support becomes new resistance, right? So broke through this support level, this 850 support level down here. Now what did it do? Broke through it, came back up. There's a gap up here, retested that gap to move lower. So perfectly filled that gap, and then now it's moving lower. What are you waiting for? I'm waiting for this level down here. Right there. It's coming up to it. Let's see what happens at this level. We're getting a big gap. I don't like to see huge gaps like that, because then, my risk is like way too much. We'll see what happens though. And then I just size according to how I like the trade. If I really like the trade, I'll size in heavy. If I don't like the trade so much, there's like stuff that's like maybe in the way of me hitting my TP, right? Like this resistance, for example. Maybe I typically size down to just accommodate. So that if I do have losing trades, on the trades I'm not too confident in, I'm not heavily sized. But then when I get like trades that I'm super confident in, and I have winning trades on those make up a lot of my losses. So still can't take out that low. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of buying. As the closer we get, we're going to have buying pressure. No, I didn't take any trades yesterday. I didn't get any setups at all. Yeah. There were no setups for me all morning long, so I just stayed out of it. It's part of it. Hey, not trading is trading too, right? Not trading is protecting your profits. People feel, especially people that are new to day trading, they feel like if they don't take a trade, then it's like a wasted day. But like, you're protecting your profits. What a wasted day is, if you take a trade not according to your plan and lose money, that's a wasted day, because all you did was just like gamble. You sat there and just wasted money because you took a dumb trade that you shouldn't have. And now you're wasting time too, because now you're gonna have to make back that loss. I'm in the trash, bro. Why are you in the trash? It's all right. Just be patient. Wait for good setups. Don't be too heavily sized, and just build your way back up. I've been there. Trust me, man. I've gotten out of stuff that. Why didn't you take the trade? What trade? There was no trade for me to really take. My setup, at least, that I'm waiting for. Kind of like shorting all-time highs, yeah. Bro, your stop loss is gonna get hit. I hope my stop loss doesn't get hit, because I don't have a stop loss. Hey, if I don't have a stop loss, it can't get hit, right? Today's looking like a decent trade. I want to see what kind of movement we get out of this level. So far, I want it to take out this level, see what happens at this level. Hoping we get a gap that gets inversed. A bearish gap maybe, depending on how hard it pushes through this level. If we can get like a bearish gap to form, and then inverse it back above the level to maybe a resistance back into this gap. But bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. Trade, bro. Are you looking for ICT? Not really. I don't know what you consider it. I never studied ICT. I never learned it. I mean, maybe like the concepts, I guess the concepts that I use are considered ICT, but I feel like ICT has been around before ICT. It's just like, he just made it mainstream and gave him terms. Like liquidity sweep, people just called it, you know, highs and lows. He just gave it a fancy name. Dang it. I was hoping that was going to form a... the concepts work. The concepts for sure work. But... you got to figure out what you like to trade. It works for some people and then doesn't work for other people. That's the thing about trading is some, you know... One model can work for somebody, but not for another person. Just because of psychology and all this stuff that plays into it, right? Depending on the patience someone has. Dang it, it's not giving me any gaps. We'll see. I'm hoping it doesn't. Man, my mouth is so freaking dry. What the flip? Why is my... Just made 30 bucks. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's good. All right, we're still dropping. Can we get the gap? Can we get the gap? So, right, so just because it's at that level does not mean I'm going to take a trade. I have to wait for a gap. It's not giving me a freaking gap. See, buyers are trying to step in, but How do you start something like this? You just start learning. Start learning, get a simulated account, practice on a simulated account, figure out what strategy works for you. Then you can go to futures prop firms, like different futures prop firms like Apex. You can buy an evaluation account, pass the evaluation, get into a funded, get a payout on the funded, start making money. I would like a gap to form. Like you have a gap right there. Typically what I wait for is something like this, except not necessarily as big of a gap, but to the downside, right? Maybe price comes back up. If it kind of comes back down, forms a bearish gap. This is called a bearish gap. And then we take out that level and we inverse that gap. We inverse that gap to go back up. That's kind of my entry. So far, there's just no gaps. Maybe if price pushes up, kind of takes out that low again and starts moving back up, maybe I can forms another gap. But as long as there's no gap, there's no entry for me to take. You missed a perfect long entry at S1. Yeah, it's just not my setup. Like, I knew price could bounce there. I like, right? I know, because it's a major level paired with a pivot point. And I knew price could bounce there. It's just not my setup. I want to wait for a confirmation for price to really show me that it's getting that momentum to the upside. So far, it's not showing that. It's just, as you can see, it pushes up a little bit and then it drops right away. And like, what is what am I going to just go for 10 points? So let's see what happens here. If we can form a gap, possibly we could get that momentum after the gap. We'll see. You wouldn't want to take some small profit on the upside. No, I don't mind taking small profits as long as the risk makes sense, but I don't mind taking as long as it's my setup. I just wait for what I want to see, you know. Looks like a gap is starting to form. It looks like a little riskier just because we have this internal high before it. So technically we would need to, and there's no gap. It filled. It didn't close. Son of a. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a couple points as long as it's your setup and the risk makes sense, right? You don't want to take a couple points and then have, like, you know, you don't want to take a 10-point profit and then be risking 30 points. I'm patient. I'm guess that's what maybe separates me, is I'm actually patient for my... break even. We're waiting till next week. Break even's good. Let's see what happens. I mean, I'm just waiting for price to kind of confirm. It's going up, but so far price action has not been my way. No, I don't see an entry. For me, there's 5-minute gap. Let's see. 5-minute gap. Yeah. So there's a 5-minute gap, but it's like, let me look at the 2-minute chart. Maybe there's like a 2-minute gap somewhere. I've never tried these 2-minute ones. I don't know if it's worth trying. Is it like, I feel like there's going to be a lot of fake outs on the 2-minute chart. Not fake outs, but like there's a tiny gap that just closed above, but there's a tiny gap on the 2-minute chart. I don't know if is that worth taking? I don't know. Think so? Maybe? How much risk is that? Let's see. 20, 40, 60, 80, say $80. Let's see. Should we try it? Let's get a little bit of a pullback maybe. There's a little 2-minute gap. It is pretty interesting to see what happens here. We'll see. Like, I don't mind this. See, I've never tried it on a 2-minute chart. And then my profit target would be like right there. TP would be that 829 level, right? Because it's in the middle of that gap. It's in the middle of this gap. So maybe this gap pushes up to get filled and then drops back down. A lot of resistance right there. So, I mean, I don't know. We could either stop loss would have to be below the lows. Probably like a hard stop. But I've never tried this before with a 2-minute chart, the 2-minute gap. I don't know if it's smart to do, or this is gonna be stupid. 2-minute chart, right? A 2-minute gap should hold. Also bullish on the 1-minute. It's holding that gap pretty good, actually. Surprisingly. We're getting some buyers step in. We just need more and more buyers to step in. The only thing we may not get, I don't know if we get the momentum, because a lot of, right, Trump is kind of speaking today with, I don't know if people are gonna be super aggressive in their long and like jumping in. See if we get it. So far, I mean, we gotta break through this level, right? We gotta break through this how much capital do you risk? It's always different depending on the trade and how I like it. This trade I'm risking about 300 bucks, I think. We're not getting the momentum to the upside. I don't like that we're not getting momentum. I really like me to buy in. It's just it rockets to the upside. I love those trades. All right, let's see. We're pushing. Holy crap. Wow, I just got stopped out. Is that news? That's news. Oh my gosh. Happy Friday. I shouldn't have got in on news. That's a news candle. Bro, you freaking kidding me. Stop me out just to push right back up. You stupid freaking NASDAQ. I want to slap a market maker in the face. You son of a... Oh my gosh. Bro, what the flip? Oh my gosh. This is so dumb. This is so freaking stupid. This is so stupid. Wow, thank you. And it's a Friday. You freaking stupid market makers. Bro, that's insane. Literally ticked my stop loss and then ripped right to the upside. Look at that. It's going to hit my TP now. This is so stupid. Re-enter longs? Should I re-enter? Freaking A, you're making me... Oh my gosh. There's my TP. What the flip? You gotta be freaking kidding me, dude. What are the chances of that? Honestly, what's the freaking chances of that happening? That's I hate news. I freaking hate news. I should have waited till news came out. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I forgot that news. It wasn't even a big news event. Life of a retail trader, that's for sure. That's why you have to, I mean, this freaking sucks. Now, honestly, like if I would have had my stop loss a little bit lower, I wouldn't have got stopped out. I honestly didn't even realize there's news. I didn't realize there's, I knew there was 10 o'clock, but I didn't know that we're already at 10 o'clock. Stop losses always gets you ripped back. Bro, that's wild. My stop was literally at... The thing about it I don't like is it's a Friday. I'm gonna be thinking about this all weekend long now. This is gonna be on my mind all weekend long. Now it's like, I don't want a revenge trade. Like, I can technically take a long off this gap as long as it doesn't take out the highs, but then that's a kind of like not really the strategy I typically look for. How much? Maybe. And see, it's like, maybe I'll take a trade. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Technically, like, right? Technically, as long as it doesn't take out a high, we could get a bounce off this gap right here. This now holds kind of as a support level, right? So technically, it should hold as a support level as long as we don't take out a high. I mean, once we take out a high, it's not gonna look. It probably won't even go back down there. Dang. Ah, man. Is this gambling? I mean, anytime you're taking risk, you're technically gambling. Starting a business is gambling. Anytime you put risk on the table where there's a chance of you losing money, you're technically gambling. Now, it's not like, right? It's calculated, right? I understand the risk I'm taking, but, you know. Bro, so this trade, honestly, this trade would have worked really well if it wasn't for news. If it wasn't for news, TP would have got hit, no problem. I guess that's what that sideways action was. This sideways action, I was like, man, it's not getting the momentum. It's not going up. Like, what the heck? It's just not, it's just going sideways. And I didn't realize it's because of news. Like, typically right before news, right, people are kind of waiting for news to come out. So price tends to go sideways right before news, and then news comes out and it really... I didn't take out that high. Canceled stop? That's wild. I don't know, man. It's not smart. Like, yeah, it worked this time, canceling stop, but trust me, if you do that another time, there's gonna be one more time where it's not gonna do this, and news comes out, and price is gonna just flush the low, and it's gonna keep dropping and dropping and dropping, and you're gonna blow your account. It's not... Like, even though it did this to me, I do not regret having my stop. Like, it's just... Had my stop at the lows, I got stopped out, it is what it is. But one thing I would be super pissed if I would have you know, if I would have blew my account. But I could still take another trade. I'm fine. I mean, I'm debating on if I should take a long off these, like, off this support right here. Tap back into this gap, potentially, to rip back up. Maybe it could rebalance to this gap and get another entry in. I don't know. I mean, technically, these are, like, lows. I mean, it hasn't taken out a high yet. It's closed above that gap. It hasn't taken out a high, so maybe price is going to want to go back up. I'm echoing? Are you serious? I don't know why. So for some people... I'm not echoing. It's probably, I think it's something with Bro, that's wild. Yeah, I gotta I clipped it. I'm gonna bruh. That's bothering me, man. I'm gonna be thinking about this all weekend long now. Thank you, NASDAQ. I appreciate it. But see, these levels do work really well, right? Look at these levels. Look how well these levels hold. That's what, like... It does give me satisfaction seeing that my levels hold that well. And look at the, like, well, I mean, it wasn't a bad entry. Look at the freaking, look at the wicks off that level. Unreal, man. Unreal. Oh, you got out? Wait, did you get out because of news, or you got out because... Did you know news was coming? Stick to the 15-minute time frame? Well, that's how I mark out my levels on the 15-minute. But I dropped to, like, the lower time frames to give me entries, right? I had this gap right here on the 2-minute chart. So, I'm going to start doing that more. I'm going to start looking at... See, like... Right? There was a gap on the 2-minute chart. Took out that level. If it wasn't for news, this trade would have worked out amazing. Right? Inverse that 2-minute. Inverse that 2-minute gap. Took out this major level. Inverse the 2-minute gap. And now look at it. Freaking skyrocketing to the upside after taking out that major level and inversing that gap. I mean, let's see if other time frames, like 5-minute, right? We have there's a 5-minute gap that got inverse now. Five-minute gap that got inversed. I mean, now it's like... now it took out this internal. Now I don't really want to take a... Is it smart to take a long down here? Probably not. The thing about it is, it's not my strategy. That's the thing. It could work out, but... This was my strategy if it wasn't for stupid news. Yeah, freaking... It wasn't even red folder news either. Let's see. Finviz. See what kind of news wrecked me. Business inventories. They could shove their business inventories. University of Michigan consumer sentiment prelims. Well, yeah, consumer sentiment's pretty big news. Sell, 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 buy, buy, buy. Sell, buy, 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 buy. I should just keep pushing the buy and sell button and see what happens. That's freaking wild, man. That doesn't honestly, that doesn't happen often. I don't remember the last time that has happened to me. I was literally used as... Nah, get out of here. Stop. Stop. Stop trying to freaking scam people. Bro, these like TikTok freaking scammers are like unreal. Yeah, using God to scam people is wild. That's a whole new level of scumbag. What is the blue rectangle as a point of interest? No, that was an entry. That was an entry point. So, if you missed it, if you look on the 2-minute chart, so I had this blue level as a major level marked out, right? And what I was looking for was exactly this to happen, was that blue level to get taken out, a gap to get inversed and show buying pressure. So that gap got inversed, I got long, not realizing that news was literally in a couple minutes. And what ended up happening, I had my stop loss below the lows. News came out, took out my stop loss, and then went immediately to my take profit. Now let me take this call real quick. Someone's calling me. All right, sorry about that. All right. I heard this is almost like smart gambling. I mean, if you're taking calculated risk, right? As long as you have a plan and understand the risk that you are taking, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you're buying and selling at random areas and don't know what you're doing, don't have a plan, not doing anything, essentially you're just, pulling the handle on the slot machine. It's not really smart. But yeah, you gotta understand, right, when you're getting in, when you're getting out, when you should, cut your losses. And crap like this does happen. It's a part of trading. And being able to go through this and not revenge trade, honestly, is important, right? Being able to see... Oh, am I still... Alright. Being able to, get stopped out on a news candle like that and then not revenge trade is important. Like, to hold yourself, like, am I pissed off? Yeah, I'm pissed off, but it is what it is. I do enjoy that the trade still worked out. Like, that gives me satisfaction knowing that, it worked out, but Any trades? Yeah, I got stopped out on the news candle. I took a long here. And then I had my stop below the lows, and freaking news candle came out, stopped me out, and ripped right up to my take profit immediately, pretty much. New rule: don't trade during news. Well, I knew that rule. I just didn't. I forgot that news was out. I didn't pay it. I knew that there was news at 10, but time went by so fast. I did not realize it was already 10 o'clock. And what was funny was I was looking on the 1 minute, and I was looking at the sideways action, right? Like as soon as I got in, and I see this price like moving sideways like this, and I'm like, well, I'm like wondering like why is price so slow here? It's like, I don't know, it's not getting the push up, and the reason it was slow right there was because it was waiting for news to come out. Me too, I was in a short, didn't know news was coming out. What do you typically make a day? Well, the thing about trading is, it's not consistent, right? Trading's not consistent. Like, you can have a month where you're break even. You can have a month where you lose some money. And then you can have a month where your strategy works perfectly and you're making good money. So it's not a consistent type of thing. There are days where you're hands off and you're just not taking any trades because you're not getting any setups. And there are days where you get multiple setups. So it's just like you know, I don't make any like crazy money. I'll do this for fun. This isn't like a full-time job or anything. I'm not about to sit here and pretend like I make a full-time living from trading. I got out ASAP. Honestly, I probably still wouldn't have got out. Thinking back now, if I would have realized, if I was in the trade and I would have saw that news was coming out in a couple minutes, I probably would have stayed in the trade, to be honest with you. But if I didn't enter the trade, I probably wouldn't have entered. If I knew news was coming out in a couple minutes and I wasn't in a trade already, I would have just stayed out. But if I was already in a trade and I realized news was coming out, I would have just stayed in the trade and got stopped out. So, being honest. All right, now we're tapping into that view op area. I don't know if we're gonna get a resistance. A lot of resistance up here. A lot. Okay? A lot. Look on the 15-minute chart. Right, we're pushing up to that major. I had this major pre-market. This is actually pre-market lows. So we're obviously a major level. So when it comes up to pre-market lows, view op is right there. Bro, is it just me or is it like... Hold on. We're good, right? It's just my, I guess it's just my phone. Because I'm using my phone and my phone keeps buffering. I guess it's me. Hold on, let me refresh it. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. Alright. What's the news? The news was... The news was business inventories and Michigan sentiment, which Michigan sentiment's a pretty big news event. It's orange folder, but we typically get pretty decent action off that news. Trump and Putin. Yeah, they're speaking, I think, at 3:30 Eastern time. So I'm not going to be trading when they're talking. But yeah, better don't trade when they're talking, because you never know. You never know what can happen. For all we know, they can get into an argument and they can get into a fist fight and then market tanks. And then we end up going to World War III. And then you're stuck in a trade during World War III. Not a good spot to be in. Right? Stop the thought. Wait a minute, I've got dollars in it. My typical trading hours, I stop at 11. Like today, I'm gonna be off at 11 today. Sometimes I trade till 11:30, sometimes 12, but typically you don't want to trade after 11 o'clock. The like price action starts to die down after 11. So I'll sometimes stay on longer, but like I would say 90% of my trades are taking from like 9:30 to 10:30. I heard they're going to talk about Russia getting land in Ukraine. I mean, yeah, they're probably going to have to do some kind of settlement. Something like... At this point, something's got to, you know... They got to make some kind of settlement, because innocent people are losing their life, which is... sad. While politicians are playing games, you got young men over there that in their early 20s, late teens over there, you know, fighting a stupid war. While the politicians sit back and drink their freaking coffee in the mornings. I heard some stories. I'm Ukrainian, right? I don't like what's going on. I know people that came from there, and I've heard some horrific stories. I mean, stories that I can't tell on TikTok, but trust me when I say this, like, horrible stories. Stuff that could leave you scarred if you ever seen stuff like that in your life. It's horrible. You're on the 1 minute. This is the 15 minute. So, right, we're getting that rejection off those pre-market lows, now resistance. So, if you drop to the 1 minute, you could see why price is rejecting there. So that's why you kind of always have to look at a higher time frame. We took out that internal high before kind of starting to reverse. But at this point, right, not really. This was the one freaking trade that I wanted, that I really liked. It was this one trade, and sucks. And I mean, I don't know if we're gonna reject. Are we gonna reject off pre-market highs now? You took that trade? I hope you made money on it. What is a break of structure? It's like it's like when you have a like, you see how kind of structure formed right here on a 1 minute chart? Right? So it took out the lows and it formed, this is like 1 minute structure. So you can see how it kind of like made a high. It pulled back, and then once it broke out of that high, it like broke that structure that it had right there. So the structure it formed. So now it kind of, this should hold as, technically this should hold as support for it to keep going up. This has to hold as support for it to keep going up. And you can see, right, it broke the structure, and look what happened to this 1 minute candle. Look, price pulled back. See this wick right here? It pulled back, tapped the top of the, kind of like the top of this structure, which turned into support, and it kept ripping back, continued going up. So some people use this as like a entry for a trade. As soon as it breaks structure, people you know, will enter off a trade. So break of structure and then retest to enter long. I don't do it, but I like to see break of structure. I really do like to see it. It gives me extra confluence. Two trades today, 1 win and 1 lose. Break even day is not, you know, it's not a bad thing to have a break even day. Think I'm ready for a funded. I'm planning to buy one in the beginning of September. Yeah, get an evaluation. Pass that evaluation. Take your time. There's no reason to rush. People rush into trading. People feel like they need to quickly make, you know, just like if you're doing this long term, there's no reason to rush. Take your time, you know. Get an evaluation, pass that evaluation, follow your rules, follow the same rules in the funded, slowly build up, and start taking payouts. Would you be open at a prop firm partnership? Nah. I don't have time for, no. I just don't have time for anything. Like, I'm busy with work, and that's why I do this for free. I don't have no Discord, no nothing. I do this because I like to do it, right? It's like, but I have so much going on with work and stuff like that that I'll do like I do like affiliate stuff with trying to do like affiliate stuff, get like affiliate codes, but did you catch the trade? I literally got stopped out on the news. If you didn't see it, I'll probably post a clip of it. I'll have to download the live stream and then clip that part. But yeah, I went long and didn't realize news was coming out, and I had my stop at the very bottom right here. It's freaking news. News stops me out and then rips right to the upside. Should have got it when I told you. I just didn't want, after I got stopped out, I did not want to enter long anymore. I mean, by the time I thought about it, it's just, I was too pissed off about getting stopped out, and I wasn't thinking about going long. A lot of pre-market lows are holding as resistance pretty well. Oh, it depends. It depends what prop firm. I would have to use it first and like get a payout and stuff to make, like, you know. I don't want to promote prop firms that I don't use, so I would have to use it first and see all that. Depends what prop firm too. I typically stay with the reputable prop firms, the ones that have been out for a long time. Revenge trade, trust you're gonna make it all back. That was my mindset before, until I got freaking rocked. I got punched in the mouth by the market one day for revenge trading. It stole my money. It stole my money. So, you know, it does work out sometimes, but then there's that one time where it doesn't work. Yeah, I'm really like, I've gotten to a point in my trading where I'm pretty, like, I would say I'm pretty disciplined in my trading. I have my stop loss. If I get stopped out, I mean, you know, typically I don't get mad. This one I got mad because, you know, it was a stupid stop out because of news. But typically, you know, if I have a plan and it doesn't work, you know, I just keep trading. Part of trading, taking losses. Most traders don't show that. Every time I see a live stream with a trader, they're always in a freaking profit. Like, they're like, I'm thinking, dude, if you guys are really that good at trading, where you guys are always in a winning trade, like, you guys would be freaking multi-millionaires. But somehow, this dude is sitting in his freaking, in his messy little tiny bedroom, and somehow he's making, you know, $5,000 a day. But yeah, he can't afford a nice place to live in. He's living in some kind of, like, mom's basement, making $5,000 a day. Come on, man. And peddling his Discord, and getting people to try to join his Discord. Like, I don't know, man. That, like, pisses me off for some reason. I'll take a look, but right now I'm trading with Apex. I got 10 funded accounts with Apex, plus getting 4 more evaluation accounts. It's about to happen? What's about to happen? What's happening? What's happening? Is there something going on that I don't know about? Okay, I'll take a look. Yeah, I'll take a look. Russell rebalance. What's the best book you've read on technical analysis? I never, to be honest, I've never read any really trading books. I know of good ones. I know of some popular ones, but I've never read any real books. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. A lot. I've just learned, I learned a little bit from a lot of different people. Like, at one point, like, I was so obsessed with trading, that's all I consumed was, like, trading content. On weekends, I would sit there and I would backtest, I would look, and I would just be so obsessed with it. But I think there's a book called Best Loser Wins. That's a really popular book. Sounds like an amazing title, though. Because that is so true in trading. Best loser does win. Trading is a type of thing where you can't have an ego. If you have an ego, it ain't gonna work for you. Now, those shorts off of all-time, off of pre-market, you know, I kind of want to do, I want to get more accounts. After I pass these accounts, I want to get more accounts and maybe try like a strategy like this, because so many times I could, like, I know it's gonna, like, a high probability it's gonna, like, have some form of a reversal there, and maybe have like a strategy where I can somehow catch these little reversals off of major levels. Lost over 30K for simply not reading what I intended to read. Now it's completely different. Yeah, it just depends on how you learn too. Some people are more visual learners, some people are more like auditory. But in terms of like trading and psychology, yeah, books are amazing. I think, hold on, let me see if I have. I think I had a trading book I got a long time ago. I started to read it, but no, never mind. It's a different book. Never mind. Best penny stock. I don't trade penny stocks anymore. I actually used to trade penny stocks. Went to options, and then from options I went to futures. Futures just has Futures just has so much possibilities, especially for like newer traders with prop firms and stuff. A lot of people went to futures because of prop firms, right? Because you can buy a valuation account, get funded, and if you're actually, if you actually know how to trade and you actually learn it, the return on your investment can be pretty crazy with prop firms. Because you think about it, like Apex has 80% off sale, right? Evaluation accounts are like $33 per evaluation account for like a $50,000 account. You pass the evaluation account, and when you get funded, I think you pay like $140 per account to get the account like activated for a funded account. Once you get that account activated, so what are you in it? 140, 170 per account total, you're in it. Plus, then you could take thousands of dollars of payouts if you're, then you gotta pay 140. Yeah, I mean, you gotta pay for the activation to activate the funded account. I mean, there are prop firms that don't have activation fees. If you don't want to pay activation fee, you gotta go with, it's a very low, even you think of, if you know how to trade, right? If you know how to trade and you invest $170 total for the account, and then you end up getting funded and you end up getting payouts, and you end up getting $5,000 in payouts from a $170 investment, that's freaking wild. Even if you get $1,000 payout from a $170 investment is a freaking crazy return on your investment. Obviously, it's not the easiest thing to do, but, it's possible. If you're disciplined and have a strategy that works. But there are prop firms that do, like, no activation fees, no nothing. You just can find a prop firm that... if you hit profit target and pay activation... Can you even withdraw right away? So there's rules to it, right? These prop firms obviously have to protect themselves. So if you pass an account, right? You fund the account, you pay the activation fee. Now you're in a funded account where you can actually withdraw money. So you have to reach a certain profit target, right? To be able to withdraw money. You reach that profit target. You've traded a certain amount of days, and then you can withdraw a certain amount of, you could withdraw money from that account. But you can't just get a funded account, go crazy heavy size, make a whole bunch of money, and then try to withdraw that money. It doesn't work that way, because, these prop firms would go broke if they could just allow people to do that. So you have to trade a certain amount of days and then reach a certain profit target, and then you can withdraw money. Pretty much, they only want people withdrawing, right, that can actually know how to trade and do it correctly. They don't want people just gambling their way to a payout. That's what they really don't want. So, here, give me a second. I'll be back in a minute. Oh man, but yeah, prop firms. So prop firms are they're a cool thing. I mean, you got to understand how they work too, right? They're paying people out. So many, right? The statistics, just based off statistics, prop firms work, right? Because if you get most people, let's face it, most people that are day trading don't really want to learn how to day trade. They're just willy-nilly, just winging it kind of deal. They don't want to actually learn it to do it the right way. So if you have a 90% of day traders lose money, so a lot of people buy evaluation accounts, and you know, a lot of people fail evaluation accounts too because they're just going super heavy in size, blowing accounts in one day. And then the traders who actually do know how to trade get paid out from the traders that don't know how to trade. It's just how prop firms work. Don't go with the 90%. Actually be that 10% of people that actually want to learn how to do this and do it correctly, have the right, you know, psychology, risk management, and can get payouts consistently. We're still, I don't know if we want to go for those lows again. I wouldn't assume that we want to go for those lows again. We've already taken out that major low. I mean, do we even have any more lows after that? I mean, we do probably, but it's way down there. Yeah, I mean, the next low is way down there. We could just be rebalancing to go higher, but there's a gap here, but I'm not gonna. There's a gap here it could bounce off of. We got a kind of a support level here, and we got a gap that price could fill. Love the videos, by the way. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, 5 minute too? Is it aligned with that? Yeah. Bigger gap on the 5 minute, and then there's that tiny, smaller gap. Smaller gap on the 1 minute, and a little bit, you know, bigger on the. So a lot of gaps, right? A lot of bullish gaps. So don't know if it's gonna bounce off those gaps or. All right, it's tapping into this bullish gap. See what it does here. Will it keep dropping, or will it reverse off this gap? Appreciate the likes. Thank you. Did we take out the No, we didn't. Took out an internal high, failed to make a new high, and now we're dropping, but is it just rebalancing to go higher? It rejected off view op, so it couldn't get through view op either. Now it's kind of starting to try to bounce. So I don't really like taking trades, like guessing off what gaps, like taking these kind of trades. I feel like my trades are better. The way I trade is better than like trying to take, you know, entries off of bullish gaps like this. I mean, maybe you could have a strategy where you can like say something like this. I don't know. Have a bullish gap and kind of like closes above an inverse gap to go for a high, maybe. I don't know. But I like to wait, right? This is just like a 1 minute gap. Anything on the 1 minute chart, there's a lot of fake outs and you know, if you're just focusing on the 1 minute chart and taking entries based off a 1 minute chart, you're gonna get faked out a lot. There's just too much fake outs on the 1 minute. That's why you need to set your levels on a higher time frame and then trade off of higher time frame levels. 1 minute's meant to like get sniper entries, to get like, you know, get really precise entries with as little risk as possible. Sorry. I am... Ugh. What a horrible way to enter your weekend. I'm telling you, I'm going to be thinking about this now all weekend long. Ugh. I like to go in on a weekend on a good note, you know? You made a good amount of money, you go in with a good note. Still bouncing off that gap, but I haven't really closed below it. I guess if we close below it, it's gonna like, well, we still have this major level right there. It's holding it. So far, it's holding it. Now this kind of becomes a pretty decent resistance level, right? Like, cause you've seen it. This is a level right here where price bounced off it once pretty heavy. Tried to bounce off it again. It's like, now if we come back up to this, you know, if we come back up to this level, does it reject this level here and go back down, or does it have the strength to push through this level? To push through this level. Trading is a lot of like, it's almost like coding, right? Like if then statements. If this happens, then this. If this happens, then this. I'm gonna stay on for like 10 more minutes and then I'm gonna hop off. If you have any questions. I have someone coming. I have to do paperwork. Oh, I hate doing paperwork. I haven't even eaten anything all day today. I had to come into work. It's part of... I had to come into work early. Now I can't even go to lunch or didn't have breakfast. I'll have to go later. Alright, let's see. It's closing below. Oh, wow. Buyer's stepping in pretty aggressively here. Waiting for data low to get swept. It already got swept. Yeah, it already... I took this trade earlier and... news ended up stopping me out and going immediately in my favor. In my direction. So as soon as data lows got swept, I had my stop below the low. It inversed the 2 minute gap. I don't know where that gap is, but there's a 2 minute gap somewhere in the middle here. And pretty much right here, it inversed that 2 minute gap. I got in with a stop below the lows. 10 a.m. news candle came out, stops me out, and then rips right to my TP. Yeah, it is. So I'm talking about. This is gonna bother me all weekend long. I'm gonna be thinking about this. Like, I'm glad the trade ended up working the way I thought it was gonna work, but I'm pissed about this candle. If I could just delete this wick right here somehow. Wild. But yeah, these lows already got swept. They already had the movement off it. So, right, you wouldn't want to take a trade off these lows again because it's already gotten swept one time. So, I mean, we're still getting. Where's that gap? I'm just curious to see what happens off this gap right here. Did it inverse this gap? Nope. So you can see it's still holding that gap pretty well. So I think once if we close below the gap, I mean, we could go down to these lows possibly. It's having trouble closing below that gap though. Let's see. Oh. See, still didn't close below the gap. It closed right at the gap. Interesting. I don't have time to go eat. I don't know. So getting movement off that gap. We're coming into that 11 o'clock mark, so price is gonna kind of, usually it tends to kind of die down around 11. But longs, no, I'm not taking longs off this gap. It already took out that internal high, so I wouldn't want to. I don't know if this could work, but because it already took a high. The only thing is, like with this kind of thing, right? Since I already took a high out, you don't know if it's gonna go back down to this low right here, right? Like you don't know if it's gonna go back down to this low right here, or it's gonna bounce off that gap. The fact that I already took out that internal high, kind of like. If it would have had a kind of a move up without taking out a high, then potentially you would think, okay, maybe it hasn't taken out at a high yet, so maybe it can bounce off this gap and go for that high. But the fact that I already took it out, now you're thinking like, okay, it could potentially go for this low now because it's already taken out a high. No, I'm not in this trade. No. This isn't even my strategy. I'm just doing some analysis what could happen, but. And why I wouldn't take this trade. Yeah, with my strategy that I use, yeah, I buy, like for example this let me delete this. Actually, let me move this down. But like with my strategy, I pretty much enter off the close. So there's two things. So there was a tiny gap that got inverted. This is a 2-minute chart right here. So on the 2-minute chart, we had a gap right there on the 2-minute chart, right above that major level. And if you go to the 1-minute chart, I like to take my entries off the 1-minute chart, right? So as soon as price closed above this gap right here, as soon as the 1-minute candle closed above the gap, I went long for, you know, for potentially like a TP inside this gap right here at this resistance with a stop loss below the lows. And if like the candle closes super heavy, right? I don't get in. Like if the 1-minute candle closes way above the gap, I won't buy in. I'll wait for that candle to close, and I'll wait for maybe a pullback back to where like I wanted to get in, right above that gap. But I, you know, to just manage risk a little bit better. So I typically wait for a pullback if it closes super heavy. But if it closes pretty close above that candle, then I just go long at the close of the 1-minute. Yeah, that wick took me out. This is the the 10 a.m. news, which happens, I mean, if it wasn't for 10 a.m. news, this wouldn't have happened. That's the thing. It's like, if there was no news, dude, this would have went straight to TP. But because there was news, this freaking thing just takes you out, and then it ripped right back up. I had my stop right at the lows of the... I had my stop exactly at the lows. So this thing just literally wicked me out perfectly and then ripped to the upside. But, like, in hindsight, right, I am glad that the trade worked out. Because it shows me that the levels I draw are good levels. So, just one of those days. Happens. It's alright. There'll be another trade that will make that money back. You can see it's having a lot of trouble closing below that gap. Is it about to close? It kind of closed below the gap, but it wasn't a heavy close. I can't look at SPY because this is futures. I revenge traded after that down 1 point. I'm also disappointed in myself. Wait, how did you? If you revenge traded, how did you lose money? If you got stopped out and you went long again, or did you go short? I went long. So if you technically, I mean, revenge trading is bad. You should never do it. But if you revenge traded, you should have made money, because you would have got back in, right? And then it ripped to the upside. But yeah, I've learned that from myself. If I get stopped out on a move, it's best not to re-enter that move. Because the worst thing is getting stopped out twice on the same move that you want to do. That's horrible. That sucks. Are we looking for a buy, correct? No, I am not looking for a buy. It's already taken out this low. This was the buy I was looking for right here. The first time this level got taken out. The fact that it's coming back down to this level, it's already gotten taken out. So, my buy was up here. Back here, right here, when this move happened. Now, I mean, this thing can go for those lows. I think it could go for those lows now. I mean, we've inversed that gap. Look, as soon as we inversed that gap, look what happened. As soon as we inversed that gap, look at the drop that it happened after that. Now it's kind of bouncing off that pivot point we have there, but I don't know, man. Just lost control. Just a lesson. Yeah, it's a lesson I've learned too. If you take a loss, if you have a setup that you're waiting for and you take a loss on it, unless you take a super small loss, if you get out like very early and you take a very small loss, maybe you can get back into the trade because you took a very small loss. But if you take a full-size loss on a trade, it's best not to re-enter that trade, because the worst thing is, like I said, is taking 2 losses in a row. So just, I learned that. I don't do that anymore. The only time I will re-enter into a trade, like I said, is if I take a very small loss on the first one. If I got out very early. But if I take a full-size stop out, or like a pretty decent-sized stop out, I will not re-enter the trade. Even if it ends up working. I got burned like that too many times too to justify it. So you aren't in a trade right now? No, I'm not. I'm hands off. I'm gonna be hopping off here. But I think this is gonna go for those lows again, personally. We've closed below this gap. I think we're gonna go for those lows. I'm hands off. I'm done for the day. I'm done. I'll be back Monday. Disappointing trade that is. But I'll probably post a video about that trade. But yeah, I gotta go. I have someone coming at 12 o'clock. I have like an hour to do paperwork and all that, so I gotta go eat. But yeah, I'll be back Monday. So we'll see if we get some good price action Monday. Hopefully we get Mondays. some decent price action. But y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Don't take any more stupid trades. If you've already, it's best to maybe walk away and enjoy your weekend. If you're break even, if you lost a little bit, walk away and enjoy your weekend. It's gonna start getting, slow price action. But yeah, so have a good weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace out.